postulated a new dichotomy, that of life instincts, eros and death instincts. Freud described the new theoretical phase in the following terms, starting from speculations on the beginning of life, and from biological perils I drew the conclusions of life, and from biological perils I drew the conclusions that besides the instinct to preserve living substance, there must exist another. Contrary instinct seeking to dissolve there must exist another contrary instinct seeking to dissolve those units and to bring them back to their primeval inorganic state. That is to say, as well as eros, there was an instinct of death. Sigmund Freud, 1930. The death instinct is directed against the organism itself and thus is self-destructive drive. Or it is directed outward and in this case tends to destroy others rather than oneself. When blended with sexuality, the death instinct is transformed into many harmless impulses expressed in sadism or masochism, even though Freud suggested at various times that the power of the death instinct can be reduced. Sigmund Freud, 1927, the basic assumption remained: man was under the way of an impulse to destroy either himself or others, and he could do little to escape this tragic alternative. It follows that from the position of the death instinct, the aggression was not essentially a reaction to stimuli, but a constantly flowing impulse rooted in the constitution of the human organism. The majority of psychoanalysts, while following Freud in every other way, refused to accept the theory of the death instinct. Perhaps this was because this theory transcended the old mechanistic frame of reference and required biological thinking that was unacceptable to most, for whom biological was identical with the physiology of the instincts. Nevertheless, they did not altogether reject Freud's new positions. They made a compromise by acknowledging a destructive instinct as the other pole of the sexual instinct, and thus they could accept Freud's new emphasis on aggression without submitting